Welcome to Casual Swinger. If you're under 18, the following podcast is not appropriate for you. The subjects and language are for mature audiences only. If you're not mature in nature, just make sure you're old enough to vote. We don't take ourselves seriously, ever. No guarantee is given regarding the accuracy of any opinions or statements made on this podcast, our website, or our blog. It's all in fun, folks. This isn't Dr. Phil. Now, consider yourself, the listener, properly advised.
Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of Casual Swinger. My name's Mickey.
And I'm Mallory.
Oh, see, you get to sing it this time.
I do. I have a little flourish
Your
because
little sexy ass sitting over there in your leather chair.
I'm trying. I know it's a little chaotic right now. We're hours away for leaving for Jamaica, so
Literally hours.
Literally hours.
Which is why we're recording this fucker now, because this thing's not actually going to come out for what, at least a week?
Yes, correct. A week
and a
from
half.
this Sunday, and that's the day we're coming home. So by the time everyone's listening to this, we'll either be on a plane on the way back or just fucking exhausted. I don't think anyone understands, like in our vanilla life, why we come back from vacation so tired.
No, they don't. And it's like one of those unwritten rules of podcasting, right? Don't podcast hungover or tired from vacation, because it just won't go well.
No, I'm a little cranky in those predicaments. Yeah. I don't translate well.
I don't think I translate well at all when I'm like that, especially when I'm just craving more rum cream and more midnight pizza and more naked friends. I'm going to go out to the pool and I'm going to be like, where are all my naked friends?
Yeah. Well, secret time. I struggle with the English language in general when I'm completely sober and on my game. So, yeah.
But, you know, right about this time that people are listening to this, a bunch of our friends are going to be at Hedo and we won't be there with them.
That's true. So we have a week in between where we leave and then our friends get there. And we just wrapped up. I finished writing out the scavenger hunt for them. And I'm really excited. It's cute, silly, fun, sexy.
This is going to be so much fun. And you did such a good job writing these out. These clues
thank
are...
you.
I'm swear to God, like, I think you fucked Dr. Seuss in a past life.
I think they're gonna be like, this girl's a dork.
I think they're going to love it. I think it's going to get them to really get out there and get like the best of what Hedo has to offer and find some of those real landmarks around Hedo that really inspire.
Yeah, I mean, they're based on some of the iconic things, right? When your first couple of trips that you notice, or if you're part of like some of the groups as you're pre-gaming to go, you see these pictures or other things. I don't want to give out too much.
Yeah.
But
you don't want to tell them where to find the shit now, right? Because they'll listen.
Right. And then, but we wanted to put our twist on it. So there's a little caveat.
Yeah. I just think it's going to be really neat. And we're looking forward to obviously going to Hedo with Rachel's Rascals, which is the group we typically go down there and travel with because they're family to us. So
they really are.
Yeah.
There's this graduation that happened. We became fast friends. They're wonderful folk, and the people they surround themselves with and travel with are in the same. Even if they're not lifestyle, they're lifestyle friendly. And it's one of those environments you can just truly be yourself, and everyone embraces you for it.
Well, and we just found out last night, we only have 3 rooms left for our November trip.
How is that possible?
Because we have sold the shit out of these rooms. Everybody wants to go with us in November. So we're actually traveling with Rachel's Rascals in November, and we're traveling down with our friends Dirty Perv Week. So that's iOS Connections, and we've been friends with those guys for a long time. God, what a fucking party
I think that's going to be the biggest party we've ever seen in our lives between both of them, because, I mean, we know that, iOS Connections, Dirty Pervs, they're one hell of a party. And we've always bumped up against them, but we've never had the opportunity to have 2 full trips on property at the same time during the same week.
Yeah, and we want to do everything we can to support those guys, and they have a great week. They do amazing things for their folks. So I really love the idea of putting the great people of the Rascals and the party animals and great people from iOS in the same place. I think it's going to be nuts. But yeah, you might actually have to book with Dirty Perf Week to get there with us in November at this point. We booked all our damn rooms.
There's still time if anyone wants to go. Just hit us up at Travel With Us if you have questions or want to inquire. I think 2021 is going to be enormous. I think we're going to try to have half the resort.
Yeah. So speaking of casualswinger.com/travel with us, or if you go to that part of our website, that's also where you can book for our room block for Nashville, which is coming up. Now, by the way, you have to book by March 3rd, which means you have 2 days from the time you listen to this episode.
Yeah, sorry about the short runway, but like everything's probably posted at this point on our social media pages. You have questions, again, hit us up. We will have Wi-Fi while we're on the resort. So if you have last minute questions, don't hesitate. Reach out, immediately if you're interested. And FYI, all of these trips we're talking about, we don't make money off of them. We do them for fun. We want to meet people. We want to have a good time. This isn't about monetization for us.
No, this is party time. So
that's why we sell you dicks and pussies.
Rubber dicks.
Rubber dicks and rubber. Yeah, there you go.
Those rubber dicks and pocket pussies are brought to you courtesy of casualtoys.com.
Oh, is that your DJ stripper voice there?
Voice. So
stripper
sad.
DJ.
Womp, womp, womp.
It's so cute. I love it. It kind of turns me on a little.
A little bit, right? No, but anyway, so we are going to Nashville, and we're going with so many cool-ass friends. We just found out that Sapphic won't be able to join us, but we are going to have our Naughty Escapades. We're going to have Euphoria Chronicles. We're going to have the sexy motherfuckers from Double Date Nation, and New with Tags podcast is
I am so excited to meet them.
Yeah, they're really, really nice. I just listened to their new episode, and they did some heavy stuff in that new episode, too. So I was just I'm really impressed with where they're going. I like how they're doing.
Awesome.
So they're going to be there. We're going to be at Menage on Saturday, April 4th.
What is Menage?
Menage is a lifestyle club in Nashville, and it's got all kinds of good stuff going on. They have stuff going on every weekend at Menage. It's very popular. They've had podcaster shenanigans there once before. Just a high class, high scale, good time club in downtown Nashville, and it is right in downtown.
Oh, that's going to be amazing. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. I think it's going to be just amazing. But remember, guys, you got to book 24 hours in advance for Menage. And again, our block expires March 3rd. So go to casualswinger.com/travel with us and get those details. Use code 2004CASUAL. That is the code if you want to book the Millennium Maxwell House to have a place to stay where all the other drunk swingers are staying. But we'll be going to Menage with all those fun-ass people Friday. Or we're going Saturday, but Friday we're going to be downtown partying.
Is that a throwback to when I graduated high school?
Oh, shut up, you millennial, you.
I'm not. I'm just giving not even close.
Come on, just say college should be free once for me. I want to hear it.
Oh, don't even get me started. You're going to give me flashbacks to the Whiskey Myers concert.
That's awesome. So anyway, we've got that going on. We've got, let's see, Fomageddon is almost completely booked up, by the way, the host hotel.
Oh, yeah, sold out. They're sold out. I mean, it's a testament to Ray and Dee. They do such a great job. They're so active in the community. And I haven't had the pleasure of going, but I'm looking forward to August because they throw a badass party.
They do. And
word on the street is.
Well, I can't wait to just see how the pros do it. We talked about this last week when we recorded. I'm looking forward to seeing these guys in action. I know how hard they work when they're not supposed to be working. So I can't wait to see what this thing turns into.
Yeah, it's amazing. Then Podcast-A-Palooza is coming up in May. That one's over 80% sold out. We have people coming. Dude, we have people coming from Costa Rica.
Yeah. And Dominican and a few other places. It's just nuts.
It is. So can I just say how grateful I am for the experiences that we already have scheduled for this year.
I'm stunned.
So FYI, I know it sounds like we're pitching a lot of this. That's not our intention. We're just really excited to get out and do things that surround the lifestyle and people that support the community. We had a delta in our life when we were between homes, right? We moved, we got here, and we spent a long time. It was almost a year and a half with this inactivity that happened just because of lack of resources or time or whatever it is. So I kind of feel like we're making up for lost time here.
Oh, I know we are, but it's just kind of strange because I know during the first year of Casual Swinger, one of the most common pieces of feedback we got from new listeners, which we appreciate every single last or both of you, whatever, but we really appreciate all of you. And the thing that I heard the most from you guys was, well, let us know where you're going to be so we can go. And so that's kind of, this year we've really focused on making sure we tell you guys every time we leave the house, pretty much.
I'm going to start sending my geolocation.
Right? Follow Mallory here.
Yeah.
right?
But that's probably creepy. I shouldn't do that, right?
Yeah, that's the
It's
last
weird.
thing you need at the gym is somebody being like, "Hi, entertain me."
I could have fun with that though.
You could. You're dirty.
I am. I'm twisted. Something's amiss up there in this brain of mine.
Many, many things. But guys, if you are interested in Podcast-A-Palooza, check out podcast-A-Palooza.com. Like we said, it's 84% filled out, which means you have very few opportunities remaining to jump in on what I honestly think is going to end up being the event of the year in the lifestyle. I think people are going to talk about it in ways that is going to create FOMO like you've never seen.
Yeah, I have to say with Kate's planning and her organizational capabilities and her research and dedication to this project as a whole, dude, it's going to be mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
She has every corner, every facet covered.
Speaking of every corner and every facet covered, we're going to talk about kinky stuff today. This is Talk Kinky to Me. That's what our episode is today.
Yeah, it is.
And
it is.
All about Mallory.
I hate to, because no, I totally want to pick up on this, but we had a conversation earlier today, and I'm still a little bit confused, so I need some clarification.
Yes.
What the fuck is steak and blowjob day? Like,
See, I forgot all about that. I just transitioned straight to the kink, but hey, February 14th is Hallmark Day. It's that day that we're all expected as guys to buy flowers, take you to dinner, tell you we love you, and schmooze, right? Chocolates and little edible panties and all those things that really make you feel special. The guys deserve a day too. Don't you guys? I think you deserve a day. We all think you deserve a day, and that's where March 14th comes in.
okay.
March 14th is International Steak and Blowjob Day.
Okay. Back this truck up. I do love my chocolate. I can do without the edible panties. I don't want to go to a restaurant. Exactly. I don't want to go to a restaurant on this holiday because they're always packed. Like, seriously, some sex, maybe some wines, a foot massage, a little, or whiskey. Whiskey's great.
I would have let you massage my feet on Valentine's Day.
No. How do you get a massage on Valentine's Day and steak and blowjob? Do I get to give the blowjob to somebody else and eat steak? Is that what that is?
That's my luck. We go out for steak and blowjob day. Another guy gets a blowjob.
No, I do think it's a cute idea, and I've seen like the trend. I think last year, or the year before, is the first time I noticed it because I can be so oblivious at times, and it's funny to me, and I'd love to embrace it.
I plan on embracing it, and we're embracing it on Casual Toys. If you go to casualtoys.com between now and Steak and Blowjob Day, which is March 14th, 2020, between now and then, you can get virtually anything in our store for 20% off, and you use the code STEAK and BJ. That's Steak ampersand BJ.
Does that code work on what you got the other day, the FS1 or F1S? What is that? What is that thing? It came with fucking driving gloves. By Lilo.
I took a picture of it and put it on Twitter because I bought this toy. It was literally a lark. I was buying stuff for Hedo. And the way it works is I have to go over a certain amount or I pay a service fee. So I went ahead and bought this new toy from Lilo, and it's called the F1S. And it's supposed to be kind of like a race car for your penis. And it's a masturbator that you put over your junk like a fleshlight, but it has motors in it. And it has a kind of like a percussive motor in it. It's got a vibrating
like at
motor.
The end of it. So it's like it's a cylinder.
Yeah, and it does all kinds of wild shit. And it's got an app and it's Bluetooth enabled.
You brought it into the room with the gloves. I was like, why the fuck do we need a new Alexa?
Right? It really looks like an Echo Dot. It does.
Well, like
an
the
Echo,
tower.
like an Echo, not a Dot,
the
a regular
tower.
Echo, yeah.
I was like, if you're fucking an Echo Dot, man, you really do have a cheese wheel.
Hey, Alexa's got a sexy fucking voice, okay? But so this thing, right? I bought it and then I opened it and it's got fucking driving gloves in it. I'm like, and you look at me and go, Rubbin's racing, Harry. I'm like, fuck. I'm done.
It does look like a really badass toy. Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm such a kid. I stuck my fingers in it to kind of feel like how the texture is and hold it, see how heavy it is. And because like if I was a dude and I had a dick, as far as a masturbator goes, you don't want it to be obstructive to the goal.
Yeah, well, there's a version of it that's got a window in it so you can see your dick going through the car wash. which I really don't understand that aspect of it. And you pay
Well,
extra for it.
I'll tell you what though, if I was watching, that would be cool.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like,
right.
as a private event, I totally get the black mat like outside of it, but
I'm not gonna lie, I bought the black matte version because it was in stock. So I probably would have
Okay,
bought
that's fine,
the
that's
Ferrari
fine.
red version. I would have bought that because the other one is like Ferrari red.
yeah, it's gonna take everything I can not to watch you use it for the first time, like, or
Oh no, I plan on us like trying it out together. Let's make this a team sport.
okay, I'm so in, and I promise I'll be good, and I won't make any jokes.
You can drive the app.
Oh my god!
So yeah, that's
I'm
the
so
Lingo
excited.
F1S, and we actually do have like 10 of those
But
things in stock.
who gets to wear the gloves? Can we
Oh.
each wear one like Michael Jackson?
Oh, let's do it.
Okay.
All right, I'll sing Billie
Just-
Jean while
I'll
you
sing-
ride this thing up and down my
dude,
cock. It'll
come
be
on,
fun.
beat it. Come on. Come
What
on.
the fuck is wrong with you? So let's talk kink for a minute before we gotta bounce out of here.
Yes, I'm so excited about this, and thank you so much for entertaining this and supporting this. I had the pleasure of being introduced to a woman named Nookie. Nookie is a content creator, an entrepreneur, business owner, founder. She has a website called Dating Kinky that's based on the kink lifestyle, right? That covers obviously many genres of kink. That's going to be launched in March. But she has a free webinar that's happening March 8th, and it's an all-day event with so many different categories and subject matter and panelists and speakers. It's women-centric, and it starts, I think, at 8 a.m. Pacific,
It goes all day.
all day long. I am on a panel, which I still can't believe this.
What's the name of your panel?
It is Sluts, Trollops, and Tramps,
Oh,
Women
that's
in
you to a
Non-Monogamy. Yeah, Women in Non-Monogamy. And my co-panelist, or one of them out of the four of us, is Venus, who's been a guest on our show twice so far.
Yeah, that's just amazing. So Nookie, like, who has one of the coolest names ever. I'm sorry if I'm talking to a sex positive woman named Nookie.
Nookie. Yeah.
Come on, that's just kismet right there.
It really is.
This thing is going down on March 8th, which is International Women's Day to start with, but now we're calling it International Kinky Women's Day.
That's true, because March 8th is Women's Day.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So this is a big deal. Guys, you want to tune in for this, and you want to hear more about what's coming up right here next on Casual Swinger. Over the next 45 minutes, you're going to hear from Nookie, who is the founder and the head of International Kinky Women's Day.
And before we take you guys out, I'm going to skip the Casual Swinger and where to find us. If you're interested in this free webinar, go to live.internationalkinkywomensday.com.
There you go, folks. You'll find out more about how to catch up with us later. But in the meantime, enjoy this conversation we had with the amazing Nookie. You've been listening to Casual Swinger.
Welcome back to Casual Swinger. Mallory here.
And Mickey.
And we've got a very interesting episode for you folks today. We have a special guest, Nookie. Nookie is the founder of Dating Kinky and International Kinky Women's Day.
Welcome to my world, Nookie. How you doing today, darling?
Wonderful. Thank you both.
It's my only opportunity to call it my world. I can only call it a man's world like one time and not die on this call right now.
That's true. You're out of my reach. You're too far.
Well, welcome to Casual Swinger, Miss Nookie. We're going to talk today about International Kinky Women's Day. This is one of those times where Mickey gets to sit back and hear about all the amazing sex-positive women and all the cool things we've got coming. And the beautiful Mallory is going to be a panelist on this thing, right?
Yeah.
I love it.
That's
Sing it.
basically how I sounded after I got off the phone with her after that discussion. Super excited.
Yeah, you were so jacked over that. And of course, Cuckoldress Venus is going to be there, who we just had on the show last week. So
Yep.
That's going to be awesome. So we're so excited to talk about this. I think what we should probably do is kind of give some background on what you're doing and kind of everything that you do that surrounds kink before you ladies really get rolling.
My name is Nookie. I've been doing the kink thing for a really, really long time. And I run datingkinky.com, which is a site built by kinksters for kinksters, poly, queer, trans folk, and anyone not quite vanilla. So the idea is to be the answer to, we've got our vanilla sites out there. We've got our swing sites out there. We don't really have anything that sort of crosses over into the kink without it being super sleazy, right? So that's kind of where I'm coming from. But I originally started as an educator.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I kind of thought I want to bring people together and I want to teach them how to be together more successfully, whether it's friends or play partners or lovers or marriage, lifetime, whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely love it. So you started dating Kinky, and is that live now after like post beta?
It is live. So we're in version 2 of our prototype. And we've got around 45,000 users in there right now. And then once we get this version 3 out, which will hopefully be in the next couple of weeks, then we're really going to start promoting and really focusing in on all the things that we can do, because it's been a road, but it's been a lot of people in there telling us, what they want to see from a site, as much as, me sort of creating this piece, of a piece out of my head.
Well, that's kind of neat, right?
It is very neat.
There are alternative sites out there, alt.com, FetLife, things like that. So when you created Dating Kinky, what was your goal? What were people not getting, in your opinion, that you thought you could bring to bear with something like Dating Kinky?
Well, one thing to keep in mind that goes along with the whole topic of this episode is that I am a woman in kink. And I've been using kink sites. I mean, I was a FetLife member the first year that they got going. So I've been using kink sites and kink dating sites and regular dating sites pretty much since they started. I even hung out with the pickup artist community back in the day and learned from them.
That's great.
No, I did.
That's great.
In fact, one of my dear friends I met through the pickup artist community, and I ended up David Shade. He does like male dominance, masterful lover stuff. And then through him, I met the guy, Mark Cunningham, that I went to Thailand with and did a sexual hypnosis and slave training seminar.
Oh my gosh. How cool is that?
All of these things, come together to give me a perspective. And part of that perspective is the fact that I am a non-man on dating, right? Because a lot of men get onto dating sites, and the biggest challenges for men on dating sites is getting a response, right? Finding the right way to reach out to, the boopsie of their dreams. Whereas the challenges for women on dating sites is often we join and we're inundated by messages that many of them aren't very nice, or once you say, no, thank you, devolve very quickly.
Yeah. Or the standard, like, hello, here's an unsolicited dick pic.
Yeah. It's like someone's throwing hot dogs at your face just repeatedly, like rapid fire hot dogs at your face.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, and Mallory, I mean, you saw my response to an unsolicited dick pic. So,
love that.
Best response ever.
It really is.
Hey, that looks smaller than mine.
Yeah. The video is outstanding.
Smaller than nearly all of mine.
Yeah.
Right. You have an assortment.
And so the idea was to create a site where it wasn't like, and then you've got Bumble out there, right? Which is like, we put women first. And I don't want to put women first either. I don't want to put any gender first. What I want to do is I want to create a site that by its engineering gives an equal and level playing field to all the genders. Essentially, what I want to do is I wanted to create a kinky site that it isn't a race to the bottom of the barrel as far as like behavior goes, right? Like it's about being in control of your online experience. I can't tell you how many women, and I'm one included, who have said something along the lines of, the next time I get a message from some person bent over spreading their gaping butthole, I'm going to scream.
Unless that's your thing, in which case you're collecting.
I mean, even if it's your thing, if this is the first message, hi, I'm Sean, lovely to meet you. Well, it's lovely to meet you too. It doesn't have to be a face picture. Obviously, we respect everybody's privacy, but it can't be an explicit picture.
I love this.
Right?
So you're bringing a lot of control from a personal user's perspective as well as class to dating kinky.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting.
So
It's all about consent.
let's talk about that. And we talk about consent because I know we talk about that a ton in consensual non-monogamy and kink and places like that. Let's address for a minute just kind of how the growth of consensual non-monogamy and people embracing their kinks, how are those things affecting dating? As whether it's online dating, and how are they going to change people's behaviors over the next 1, 3, 5 years, in your opinion, as an operator of a site?
There's a lot of things. First of all, the idea that people can be both couples and individuals, or actually I should say all three, couples, individuals, or families, and still be open to, happy, sexy, fun times, or friends with benefits, or romantic non-sexual partners, or play. And in kink, it's not necessarily about the sex. Sometimes it's just about the play or the service, for example. And so I think you're going to see a lot more of that, which is one of the reasons that we're doing things on, similar to Facebook. You can add a relationship with somebody and note, I'm in this type of relationship with this person, and yet I'm still looking for these things. But also more, we've actually put in relationship styles. So again, in the filters, people can say, I'm looking for somebody who matches these relationship styles. And if the filter says, okay, then I want somebody who is either monogamous or sexually monogamous, then it would filter out the ethically non-monogamous, polyamorous, swingers, open, closed group, or family type relationships, and the discreet folk, right? So you could actually say, these are the things that I'm open to connecting on or with. And if you don't match these, you're going to end up going into my filters.
Wow, that's crazy. So am I going to need like a sitemap to figure out how to filter all these things? I mean, because it sounds very high level, but just poking around some of the things you've done, everything seems very streamlined and very clean. So as complicated as it sounds, I'm going to assume that it's a little more intuitive than that. But I love how it's strategic in the efforts and desires of that user or that couple or whoever is the member on the site. So that's great. Is there anything else as far as, what we should know about the site, how to check it out when its official launches?
You can check it out now. It's at datingkinky.com. The official launch is early March. I'm hoping it'll launch before International Kinky Women's Day, but I'm not terribly worried. I mean, right is more important than immediate.
Sure. No.
When it comes to this, because of the, the ease of use. And, I'm guessing that when we do launch it, there is going to be a lot more complexity to it than there was in this previous version. So, we're going to launch, and then we're going to streamline a lot, once we get people in there and we find out how people are actually using all of the features that we've put in. Right. That's going to be critical, as well as, making sure that we know how people are using these relationship styles. Are they asking for another relationship style? Are they wanting to say, maybe I want to choose both ethically non-monogamous and polyamorous, or, I want to be able to expand my options because I don't fit within a neat little box. Those are the types of things that we're going to have to figure as we go.
Right on.
I dig it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the development and the continuation of Dating Kinky.
Yeah, very much so. And I do want to ask one quick little thing as it relates to Dating Kinky, because I think this matters, because we've talked about it for a few minutes and we've talked about what it is. But when you created this, there's a listener out there somewhere right now who's either looking for something or they want to be found. If that person is listening and they want to be found or they're looking for something, why would they come to Dating Kinky first?
Okay, there's a couple of reasons. First of all, because I'm awesome.
That's always the best answer.
And her name is Nookie.
So
that's awesome.
And because I'm trying to do good for the community, and supporting good for the community is important. Because we're growing. We've got new people joining us every day, and that's super exciting, even though we're still in prototype mode. And because as we move forward, this site is really all about our users. So as we relaunch, we've got a suggestions box where people are going to be able to vote. And we're taking it very seriously that we want to provide a site that makes people feel both safe and excited about the possibilities. That might be a difficult balance, but it's one that I'm really, really driving for.
You definitely have our support on this end.
Thank you. Just something like as simple as, if somebody's bothering you and you report them, we'll take care of it. Super, super simple. We can't make sure that everybody that gets in there isn't a dork or a jerkwad or, a mean scammer or whatever. But as soon as they're reported, we can hop right on that and make sure that things are taken care of. And that's a pretty critical factor, I think.
Yeah, I'm huge on customer and member services, so that's fantastic. So now that we've kind of covered that, how do you feel about giving a little background on yourself personally before we segue into what International Kinky Women's Day is and how people can access that and grab resources? Because I like to tell everyone's origin stories. You said you've been in the kinkdom for quite some time. Can you give us a little background? Did that come from like a lifestyle relationship? Was that an accidental discovery for you? And what is it? What is your kink?
Okay, so I actually grew up with swingsters. So they didn't like indoctrinate me or anything, but once I got out into the kink world, I'm like, oh, that explains a lot.
Okay.
Us too, actually. That's where our names came from on this podcast.
That is true.
We're natural born swingers.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, both of our parents were swingers. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So mine were the swingy with the kinky people. Like, so, I grew up I knew gay people. I knew a woman who had a boyfriend and a girlfriend and wore leather. I knew a guy who liked to, dress up in women's clothes, and none of this seemed odd to me, right? This is just people. So when I found the kink scene in New York City at the age of 19, I walked into the vault and I felt like I was home.
Wow.
Which was really awesome for me. And I started out with a lot of S&M, stand and model. And then after many years,
stand and model.
I realized that I really enjoyed the mental aspects of this. So at this point in my life, I am a dominant woman. Mom told me I could be anything I wanted to be. She was wrong. I thought I wanted to be a switch. I am incapable of submitting. So scratch that.
Fair enough.
But I call myself a dominant switch in the sense that my dominance is how I lead my relationships. But when it comes to activities, I can top or bottom. I'm more of a hedonist. If it feels good and we're having a good time, let's do it. I just happen to be in charge of my life and my partner's life. And then I also tend to be a leader within, my tribe and my community. And my primary kinks are behavior modification, thus the hypnosis travel that I did over to Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
And like Venus, I'm a cuckoldress.
Huh.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
There's more of them.
There's a ton of them.
Be very afraid, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Be very afraid.
No, be very excited. Be very excited. There's plenty to go around. This is
it's
so
a wonderful
great.
thing.
So a lot of times when I've had conversations like, especially one-on-one, as I'm talking to other women as we're meeting in the lifestyle within this community, they've had to like break maybe some internal glass ceilings or overcome obstacles because we're kind of raised to not embrace sex. It's kind of shameful. Mm-hmm. So not only do we have to get over that, but if you have kinks or little twists and turns in your sexual desires, a lot of times we stifle that down. So it sounds like when you came into it, you were already exposed to, normal. And when that veil lifted, it was an moment, right? Angel singing, you walked into the vault and felt perfectly at ease. So it's really beautiful to hear that.
Interestingly enough, though, there is a little something I can add to that glass ceiling thing. And so when I was in my teens, exploring my world, I tried at one point somewhere in there. I tried a one night stand, and I got off. I mean, I had never not gotten off during sex. I was very lucky that way. But it was like I got off, but I mean, he was cute. He was like from Brazil. He was visiting the university. He was going away. Fabulous, right? But it was just like, meh. So I didn't ever do another one night stand. In between that and my pet, my current partner, I had a husband and I had a relatively long-term boyfriend. So for a total of about 22 years, I was effectively monogamous, even though theoretically both of them were poly. I was very busy and I wasn't really going out and looking because I really needed that deep connection to make anything happen. And that it seemed like too much hassle, right? And
fair. Okay.
So, but both of them, even though they were both theoretically poly, by the end of the relationship, both of them had gotten quite jealous and a little possessive. When I met my pet and we started connecting really deeply, he mentioned this cuckolding thing. And my first thought was, it's a trap.
It's a trap. Don't do it. It's a trap.
He's going to talk me into this shit. And then when he gets mad at me, he's going to turn into my exes, right? He's going to go from, yeah, baby, this is so hot. This is so wonderful. I love your sexuality, to, slut.
Yeah. Which I find is an endearing term these days, but I'm with you. There is that fear, especially in the beginning when it's not something you've experienced. You're really scared that someone's going to weaponize it and turn it against you.
Yeah.
Say it with me, gentlemen. We love sluts.
Yes.
We love sluts.
Yes.
I love sluts. Like I call my pet a slut all the time. I'm like, oh, you dirty little slut.
Ooh, I love it.
It is so wonderful.
That is so crazy.
He's the most adorable slut ever.
Aww.
So, we have a theme here, Mallory. I mean, for people that have been following Casual Swingers since the beginning, in season 1, we had Beth Liebling from Darling Way Boutique in Houston, Texas on the show.
Yeah.
And she coined a term that we call BMS, and we still talk about it here on the show. BMS stands for boring married sex. And she said she had a lifetime of boring married sex before she seized her sexuality and she became something else. We had Nicole, who was a unicorn on the show, who had boring married sex, and she seized her sexuality after her divorce. We had Cuckoldress Venus on the show, who has had some really revealing sexual experiences that have turned her into who she is. And now we have Nookie from Dating Kinky, who has also seized her sexuality after. Please don't divorce me and go seize your sexuality.
I am seizing my sexuality. You are absolutely the levee that opened, right, for me. Because I was always, even though I was exposed to other things growing up, sex for my parents being swingers, it was not really talked about. Yeah. Like it just wasn't something to this day. Like my dad gets now he's in overkill mode now that he knows everything. Oh, God. So
he really wants to talk about this shit in front of us way too much.
Very much so. Very Mickey will do something and my dad will wink and be like, "Hey, that'll get you a blowjob." I'm like, "Dad, please."
Okay, wait. I got a dad story.
Okay, so let's shoot.
We're hanging out one holiday, and my stepmother had run the local munch for years in this area where they're living. And so I said to him, we're hanging out, 4 or 5 years back. We're hanging out, and I say, so is, my stepmother still running this munch? He said, no, we pretty much, stepped back from that. I said, are you in the kink scene at all anymore? He says, I'm too old for that shit. I got tired of 22-year-old snot-nosed doms telling me how to fuck my wife.
Oh, my God. Damn, Dad. There's an eye-opener for you.
Pop.
So,
Okay.
so it's funny because we talk about how we came into this, and you've got I think we probably all have dad stories. We could probably do a whole Twitter thread on dad stories.
We really should.
But something that a lot of us in the lifestyle content creator space, which is a space now, there's so many fucking podcasts out there, but one of the things we always talk about together when we get together is the questions we get, and we always get the same fucking questions. Like it's like the most common question is always the same for us in the lifestyle content creator space, which is, how do I get my partner to swing? That is the number one question. We always get it. So what we want to know from you as a kinkster and an entrepreneur and all the things that you are, I'm sure you get a ton of questions surrounding kink from newbies. So what is their first question, and what do you think the biggest taboo is about approaching your partner about kink?
There are a lot of hang-ups, as you know. I mean, swinging, kink, whatever. There are a lot of hang-ups about sex. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it's always the first question, but it almost always comes up. How do I talk to my partner about insert whatever kink is here, right? It might be cuckolding. It might be a balloon fetish, whatever it is. Kink in general. I like to be spanked. Whatever it is,
Me.
But really, when it comes right down to it, and I talked about this, but the book out that I have out this month is called "So, What is Kinky Anyway?" And it's, there's a section in there, how do I talk to my partner about this? And my first suggestion, requirement, tip, whatever it is first you have to make sure that you can talk to your partner. Like that you can just talk about like regular sex. Do you know if you please your partner? Do you know if they feel like they please you? Do you know what their fantasies are? Start at the very basics, because if you can't answer those types of questions first, you can't be bringing up, hey, let's go fuck other people, or, hey, let's, spank each other's asses and then eat whipped cream, right? These things need to be, like, you need to have a foundation of communication before you jump off the deep end. You need to have created a space where both of you feel safe talking about your sexuality and your interests, so that you're on the same page to begin with. And then the second thing is realizing that you might have been thinking about this for the past 3 years, but to them, this might be the first time they've ever even thought about it. And
that's so true.
Have already mentally, jumped off the deep end, and you're taking the big dive, and they haven't even stuck a toe in the water of the kiddie pool yet, right? And pushing them along is not going to help.
No, you're so right. You're so right. The foundation and communication's key in any relationship. I don't care how vanilla or swinger you are or kink you are. That is literally the foundation of it, and it can be challenging. And something that I think Mickey and I do well together is we ask each other questions. If there's something I'm wondering about, I'll ask, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's a little strange at the time.
Yeah, like, hey, what do you think of blah? And sometimes it's a little unnerving or takes you back a little bit, but I think having that kind of existing relationship where there is no question that's a deal breaker. There's no thing you can say to me that's going to make me look at you and go, you fucking weirdo. I mean, outside of, why did you make broccoli and asparagus at the same time? No. Ew. Green shit. Bad.
All the green stuff.
Yes.
But I actually want to stop real quick, and because here on Casual Swinger, we do talk about a lot of things. But if you're listening to this show right now, you just heard something that actually applies whether you're a kinkster, a lifestyler, or you're just dating somebody or married to somebody. It has nothing to do with anybody else at all. And it's a really simple phrase that I want you to remember. I can't give you what you want if you don't know what it is that you want.
You.
right? So that's the conversation we have to have.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what do you want, right? So, and this is why it's so hard actually for, Mallory and I have been in the lifestyle for almost 14 years together. And when we meet couples that are just starting out, we meet them all the time. We love hanging out with them, but it's really hard to play with a couple that's brand new in the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to play with them because they don't know what they want. And we've been doing it so long, we're pretty good at what we want. We know what we like. We know what we enjoy. But so we have to go as slow as the slowest person, which is totally fine. We don't mind. We love the people that we do hang out and play with, but it's difficult. So when you're talking to your partner and what Nookie was saying out there, guys, make sure you go rewind, listen to it again. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to what they want. And if they don't know, they're going to have a hard time expressing it to you. And I think that was huge, Nookie, and I think that was important to reiterate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, know what you want, and if you can get to the point where you're able to talk about sex no matter what, like you could be, walking down the aisle of the grocery store and you'd be like, oh, hey, I read this article today. What do you think about? Then you can really start diving into deeper stuff, right? Like
Sure.
the really like weird, fucked up shit that's in the back of all of our heads.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. And
in the front of mine.
It's a safe space.
It is. And one of the best things I think we did is this verbal contract with each other that we're never going to break this. No matter what it is, it won't break it. So we're totally comfortable bringing everything and anything to the table. And it's hard to do. It's challenging at times because some things do take you aback and take time to mull over. And, we have to be comfortable with saying, I get where you're coming from and I want you to be happy. I don't know that I can be the person to give that to you.
But by all means,
right.
go get it.
Sometimes that is the answer. Sometimes it is. And I love that. So I want to get into International Kinky Women's Day. So after our conversation, I literally left there feeling like, damn, this girl's like superwoman. You're an entrepreneur. You're a content creator. You're an advocate. You love empowering women. You have great ideas. You're super articulate. Let's talk about the resource you're providing here. What inspired you to create this day-long webinar that focuses on kink, consensual non-monogamy, as well as a plethora of other topics?
I got a wild hair.
I suspect that's how a lot of things happen in your world, Nookie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to tie a guy up and beat his ass today.
So I've got a book scheduled for every month of this year that I'm writing.
Mm-hmm.
And the book that's coming out in March is FLR, Femdom, and Women in Charge Relationships. So I'm fussing around, and one of our marketing goals is to create a webinar twice a month that sort of supports whatever topic of the month it happens to be, and blah 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 blah. So I'm dicking around and I'm looking, and I'm like, International Women's Day is March 8th. How cool is that? We got an FLR book coming out in March, and International Women's Day is March 8th. and it's only like 2 months away.
And the universe shone upon you. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm sitting there and my fingers take me over to GoDaddy, and I'm like, internationalkinkywomensday.com. Oh, I got it. Okay. And then I send a message to my team. So what do y'all think of this idea that I've already purchased the domain for and pretty much planned out in my
You and Mickey have a lot in common.
Yeah, now's not a good time to shit on the idea. It's already been.
And so I said, okay, so we've got these resources. And interestingly enough, we had one webinar when I came up with this idea. We had hosted one live webinar. And I'm like, okay, so an entire day of webinars live. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes,
not
we can do this.
Not just live and all day, but fucking free.
Yes, and
like
free.
You have lost your mind.
I am incredibly lucky in that I have managed to gather some assets over the prototype building of my project that allows me to have up to 500 people per webinar, or at a single time, but there's only going to be one running at a time. So per webinar with no additional cost to me ever.
That's amazing.
So I can pass that on to the community. right? So anybody who joins us live for any of these webinars gets to participate at no cost and learn and interact with other people and connect and hopefully make friends and learn about, what people are doing out there, about your podcast, about Key Barrett's book, about Lady Lee's kink venue, The Loft, and, these types of things. And learn more about all of these amazing, women in kink. It's celebrating the women in kink and the kink in women. And yeah, so I'm like really lucky because I made certain decisions that means that I don't have to pay more in order to allow, this to be free to people. And so I'm like, I get to celebrate women. I get to meet people like you, right? As a result of this, I get to educate, and I get to do this to a bunch of people free. I can't imagine anything better. Like, this is super exciting to me. And it goes along with that, I want people to be able to connect with one another. And this could be business. It could be pleasure. It could be any of these things. But I also want people to be more successful when they do connect. And that's why, we'll be talking about finding your feminine leadership style. We'll be talking about, Mallory, you're going to be on sluts, trollops, and trance.
Woo!
Women in ethical
that's my girl.
non-monogamy.
I love
right?
it. Yeah.
Super exciting. Giving women permission.
Mm-hmm.
We've also got women who are submissive, slaves, consensual non-consent relationships, teach rape play, and a woman who is a porn star. And they're going to be talking about how these, what most people would see as disempowering choices, have allowed them to be more of themselves and have empowered them. Right? We've got a woman who's going to be talking about pleasure and shame and how they interact, and moving past shame, and then also using shame for part of your pleasure. And she's a woman in the Pleasure Guide from Seattle area. And like, wow, like I'm blown away by these things. One of my very best friends, I call her my hair dominant. She's going to be doing body care. And so this is going to be,
yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Or dominant care. You can pamper your dominant, or a dominant could do this for their submissive, right? Like, wow. I'm going to give you a really nice day. So, oh my gosh. I mean, I'm just so geeked out about this whole thing.
I get that. And what I'm really getting from you, what I love that I'm getting from you, is passion. Like, passion is my thing. And what I'm getting from you is this overwhelming sense of passion. And you covered a subject, by the way, one of our most popular podcasts we've ever done on Casual Swinger was one we did that we called Shame on You, Love God. And we actually had some lifestyle-friendly pastors on that talked about shame as it relates to the lifestyle and embracing your sexuality and your own nudity. And it was amazing.
And giving yourself permission, because you're the only one that can do that. You're not seeking other people's approval or permission. You are the beholder of that.
So I love that. And I love that, that we share a passion with you, it sounds like, because you're covering some of the same things that we find to be hot buttons, not just in the lifestyle, but in our own personal kinks. But what I want to know from you moving forward on here, because I want to get to your books too before we're done here, and we only have a few minutes left. But I want to know, when it comes to International Kinky Women's Day, what does success look like for you? Is it a multi-year event? Do you want to see this happening again and again? Is there a particular outcome that you're looking for? Is there a number of attendees?
I'd love to be able to do this every year. As far as attendees, I'd love to be able to reach as many people as would be interested. I mean, if I have 5 people in every talk, and those five people really get something out of it, that's good enough for me. If I can get them filled up so that we're topping out at 500 people, that will also make me very happy. I mean, this is a first year. I figured it out 2 months before it starts, sort of thing. So whatever I do this year is a win already, because it'll happen. From there on in, I just imagine it growing and becoming more fascinating. Maybe next year we'll do one day. Maybe next year we'll do an entire weekend. I mean, I don't know.
I love that. I mean, you could have taken advantage and capitalized and required a fee to access this, but I love that you're paying it forward, putting those resources out there, letting the conversations be had, and let people tell their stories. And that's a beautiful thing.
A free resource.
Yes. Yeah. So if any of our if any one of our listeners want to sign up and register for any of the all-day webinars, I've already signed up for, I think, 3. It's live.international kinky women's day, and that's women's plural.com. And we'll put that in our show notes and on Twitter.
It's already on Twitter.
You rock. So before I move on, is there anything you wanted to add about the event on March 8th?
It's going to be super awesome.
It's going to be fucking awesome. So let's talk about your books. You referenced those. So I feel like there's this huge tie-in with you, again, providing these resources on different subject matter, even with Dating Kinky, right? The website. So you were telling me about this release of books, and I think you have like the next 18 to 24 months planned out, with each one being released on specific subject matter and framing that, and some of it being crowdsourced. Can we talk about that a little bit?
So, for 2020, I decided that I was going to write a new book for every month.
Because you're just so bored and you have nothing else to do, right? Between the site and this event.
Right.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah. That's me all the way. I just had so many ideas, and I was like, well, it's going to take me 400 years if I don't get writing. So it's part of a master plan. So I'm writing these books, and I've been writing books, and throughout my career on various topics. I wrote on vanilla topics for a long time as well. The site is actually free. Again, so you can be on there and you can date, and you can send messages, and you can post pictures, and watch, read writings, and start discussions, and upload audio. All of those things you can do even if you're a free member. The Plus membership just gets you, a little bit more features. But it also gets you the library. And the library is a new book every month, an online class, and then these webinars on demand. So if you can't make it live, you can still go back and get the webinars on demand, and you can get them where we translate them into MP3 format, so you can listen to them like a podcast if you don't want to watch the video. So all of this sort of becomes, for one monthly fee, it becomes value and education. So like the January was the Big Book of Ass, and
like ASS, like My Big Ass.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
just making sure.
And the class is Learn to Love Anal, which is 8 lessons plus 3 bonus lessons, all about, really activating and taking advantage of all the potential pleasure in butt stuff.
We have a whole section of butt stuff on casualtoys.com.
Yes.
Butt stuff is so awesome.
It literally is called butt stuff. I love that.
Stuff is a great word, right? Like, it's just an awesome word.
It is.
It covers everything.
Do you think you can kind of be tongue-in-cheek like that with some of your books and be a little bit funny and still educate people?
I call it spearfishing for poop sharks.
Oh, my God.
I love it.
Tongue-in-cheek and spearfishing for poop sharks.
It is all about being educational and irreverent a bit. I mean, I take butt health seriously, and I take being sexy with butt stuff seriously, but you don't have to be serious in order to take it seriously. You can talk about the taint, the grundle, the biskin, and you can talk about,
the fleshy fun bridge.
Look at these. The fleshy fun bridge. I use that one too. That is my favorite from Cards Against Humanity.
This is great.
But you can do. I even use Let It Go.
Like
I
Elsa?
made a Disney reference in my butt book. You
fucking Elsa this.
I did.
Whatever you do, don't let it go if I'm back there, okay?
So yeah, I mean, it's all about being accessible. And when you're super stuffy about these things, it's not as accessible. A little bit of humor relaxes people, and they're able to learn better, I believe. So like this month is like, so what is Kinky anyway? And so our class for that starts tomorrow, and that is a year's worth of weekly installments of kinksters talking about their favorite kinks. So like spanking and latex, and so it's Meet the Kinksters. That's the class for this one. And then next month, FLR, Femdom, whatever, we've got a Find Your Feminine Leadership Style class.
And all of these can be accessed on datingkinky.com?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So let's do this. Let's let all of our listeners know where the easiest way to find the content you're creating is, because it sounds like you're a constant resource of information. So I'd love people to be able to find you before we wrap this thing up, because we have gone our full time here on Casual Swinger, but honestly, you've been so much fun to talk to. And I think that has everything
I know,
to do.
it goes like this.
Yeah, it goes so fast and has everything to do with the great resource that you are and what you created for this community. So take this time to let everybody know where to find you and the resources you create.
Datingkinky.com. It's the easiest. That you can access all of my social media accounts from there. You can find my blog. You can see the books. You could join the Plus membership if you want to, which if you join before version 3 pops out, which will be sometime in March, I don't know when it is, but before version 3 pops out, VIP, all uppercase, _member with a capital M, so capital V, capital I, capital P, _ capital M, EMBER, will actually get you a 75% discount off of the $20 a month for that membership. So it would be $5 a month forever. And my CFO said I could do this.
You're like, I did get express permission because I
Someone
get a
said
little
I
rogue
could.
sometimes. Yeah.
See, even the Dom has a master. That's
he
right.
said to me that if he was going to be, doing all this, I couldn't give everything away. So, he helped me set the price and everything. And I asked him, I'm like, well, could I, give out, maybe a couple just, to begin with before we go live?
Well, there you go.
I love that.
And
I
he's
love
like,
that.
Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been an experience with the amazing Nookie from International Kinky Women's Day, datingkinky.com, an author of digital books that you can find on datingkinky.com. All of this is coming to you from us here at Casual Swinger, but keep in mind the beautiful Mallory will be on the International Kinky Women's Day webinar. That's going to be on March 8th. So after this episode comes out, 1 week after this episode comes out, you're going to be able to get this content. So by all means, tune in and check out my beautiful wife. And speaking of, baby, why don't you tell everybody where they can find us so we can get out of here?
All right. We are Casual Swinger everywhere, folks. That's Twitter. That's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're also on Cassidy.com, SLS, SDC, of course, Double Date Nation, and Quiver. You want to shoot us a message? It's podcast@casualswinger.com. And if you love us, please feel free to write a review on iTunes.
And there you have it, folks. Make sure to check out the show notes where you can find this link that I'm about to give you. That's live.internationalkinkywomensday.com. Come see Cuckoldress Venus and my beautiful wife, Mallory, along with a lot of other brilliant content creators who are there to show you some of the coolest stuff in the world. You've been listening to Casual Swinger.